50 years old at the age people choose leisure. He chose to go back to the most dangerous place in the world. After the time of tomorrow hidden, Mr. S is a former survival expert. Back to challenge yourself at the Orinoco River, Colombia. No food, no water. No one next door. Just as you set foot on the forest fire, the government has declared a state of emergency. Rattlesnake. Wild animals become unusually aggressive. Lowering water levels reveals new risk. All roads are cut off. 10 days alone in the jungle. This is no longer a physical challenge. This is a man's final test. Whether the will, bravery, and experience to overcome the harsh nature. Alone in the dead, no one to blame. Just yourself and nature. After a while of hiding, now at the age of 50, S goes back to living alone in the wilderness. Still familiar recipe and same taste. Do not bring food and water. Not even hair. Alone on the Orinoco River in Colombia. The first day after arrival, the government has declared a state of emergency. Forest fruit that cause many animals to behave abnormally, so they can be a lot more aggressive than usual. To deal with the aggressive rattlesnakes of South America. The frog also wears a pair of high boots. Because the weather is too hot, the Orinoco River's water level dropped to a 6th century low. The boat cannot go against the current. I can only let you get to the transit point first. Then change to the car and move on. Take off your shirt and say goodbye to the driver. Looks like you've rebuilt your front teeth. Once again in the wild. You feel it naturally. You have to survive for 10 days here. I want to climb the mountain first. Then plan for a survival strategy. In the next 10 days, you also spend a lot of money on challenges. This time back, you're not only carrying the cameras, you're also carrying a drone. Equipment packing and challenge starting. But just a few steps away, I'm standing still. I caught a rattlesnake. This is a rattlesnake that's over a meter long. Normally it shouldn't be here. It seems like wildfires have a huge impact on animals. This also brings a lot of dry. Sure for this challenge. I am glad to have brought a pair of shoes here. It's about an hour before sunset. Ed finally reached the foot of the mountain. It sounds like a mountain, but it's actually a giant granite. Ed started to climb slowly. Right now, I find drones really helpful. I've never seen such a beautiful place before. Wild to the top of the mountain. I think the scenery here is beautiful. And then you start looking at the terrain and map the neighborhood in your mind. The first priority is to find water quickly. Even though you have the ability to passively starve, you can't. But without water you will die. There are patches of forest on the left and on the right. If there is a forest, there must be a river. But it's the dry season now. They may not find water. Otherwise, there would be no wildfires raging here. Soon, I've discovered some cactus. It's not far away. He quickly smashed the stone. The white part inside contains a lot of water. It's also a common way to replenish water in nature. The night falls. The nearby wildfires are even more visible. I'm going to spend the night on the top of the mountain. We will explore the nearby forest in the morning. It's just dawn on Monday. He found that the fire on the mountain in the distance had been extinguished. What's more interesting, it started to rain at this time. This makes me happy. Packing equipment and start departure. Plan to go round the rocks ahead. From the right side first, and walked straight through the forest not far away. On the way down the mountain, I met some wild fruit. I didn't forget to start the wild ice again. Eat enough to leave. Not even to steps, I found the mountain lion's dung. Pick it up and put it in your mouth and smell it. I've concluded that this shit has been around for a long time. You said you're not afraid of mountain lions. Because it's not as big as it seems. What I'm afraid of is jaguars. It could put you on the top of the pantry. Watching naked chickens. Keep moving forward. I soon found out that something was wrong. The rain has stopped and the temperature is rising. The wind has also changed. Before I knew it, I was surrounded by fire. The nearest fire is about 400 meters away. In sight, a giant railroad is spreading this way. You can only accelerate and go towards the forest. Quickly escape the area where the fire ran wide. You've become parallel to the fire. The trouble is that the route was meant to be blocked by fire. The only way out is to find another way. You can see that this area looks like a large forest. I soon found a small stream. When I looked closely, I saw that there were fish inside. I quickly went down to get a drink of water. Next, I plan to go down river. If you let people drift by the river, then you don't have to waste my energy too. The only thing that's remarkable is the giant python, but they rarely actively attack humans. As long as you don't bother them, it's okay. He took a tree and held up the camera. Then he lay in his pocket and started drifting. This method saves a lot of energy. It's also a popular way to go through the forest. Drifting forward for a while, he found some palm trees. Then he decided to reward himself with a meal. The fruit of this tree is like a yellow apple, the wrong jujube. Except for the crust. If you can't eat outside, the smell inside is delicious. It's rich in antioxidants. In addition, this fruit is also used as bait. The fishing is good. I didn't forget to get another pack after eating. Back to the water and keep drifting. By noon I'd been underwater for 4 hours. It's time to find a place to build shelter. There's still plenty of time until dark. I'm going to get some fish for dinner first. I found a lot of fish in the water. I think making a fishing cage will catch a lot of fish. I'm going to make a funnel cage of 2 cones. Put the small one in the big one. Once the fish gets in, they're trapped inside. Find some bamboo branches and knit them up and down along the bottom. While working, there's always some sand flies that come and feed on blood. It makes you itch all over. Soon enough, the sun will set and the night will fall. Next, consider where to sleep. There's nothing special here. I'll make the simplest shelter. It just takes a few spikes to build a round wall. When finished, it was dark. I started taking the palm to eat. I spent a day making a fish trap, but it's not done. I can't help but suspect that from the beginning. I made a decision. Mistake, maybe you should go right tomorrow morning. Across the plains to the larger forest. On the 3rd day, take a cold shower to stay awake, then continue to make fish cages. When finished, quickly take the bullets. The bait is yesterday's palm. After setting it up, do not forget to set the camera to record again. 50 minutes later you check the trap. Unfortunately, there's nothing inside. To avoid fish coming in and out, you also carefully knit the grass on the top. Put the trap back and keep waiting. Check back an hour later. Again, absolutely nothing. It's a bad start. You start planning. Maybe it's time to change the location. I'm going to cross the meadow to the big forest in the distance. Because it's too hot during the day, I plan to move at night. There's no scorching sun, there's no sand flies, but the new 10 kilometers is not easy. Besides, I haven't eaten in 2 days. I'll rest in place for a while and continue the journey of, I didn't expect the moon to appear tonight. Around the sky as black as ink. Many animals have night vision. Much better than humans. I walked for more than 4 hours. When I was exhausted, I decided to rest. Let's review the process today. I sigh, because time flies like a dog in the field. Actions are always one step slower than planned. All around now it's black as ink. Only a little light can show the way. I don't even know how far I've come. I hope to see the forest when I open my eyes tomorrow. Time to the 4th day. When you wake up, I found out I'm actually next to the forest. And there seems to be a roar nearby. After coming in for a while, I found out. It turned out to be the sound of the stream. This is where I've been looking for no effort at all. What's even more interesting is that there's a lot of fish in the water. It's definitely much more comfortable than camp. Initially put the fish basket, and then you start exploring your surroundings. I soon discovered a clue. Yesterday's fish trap didn't go well. So I'm going to change the bait. You take a termite and you put it in a fish trap basket. Next, just wait. And then you go and get some other wild fruit. You said you can't eat this casually. So I'm going to use it to make an bait. The fish had been laid down for almost an hour. I quickly went into the water to check. Fish basket, 2 days of work finally paid off. No protein for 4 days. I don't want to wait any longer. I'm always scooping ice. When you see him, you have to call him by his mouth. After eating, he put the fish back. Both the 4 elements of wild survival already. Next is the problem of fire. I found a tree branch with drawstring in my pants. A simple and easy to use drill bow is ready. Due to the wildfires nearby, you have to make sure it's safe to light a fire. I also made a fire pit out of palm leaves and sand. With 55 years of experience catching squirrels, the fire burned out immediately. Go back to the stream and check the fish basket. We caught 6 fish. Bake quickly on the fire until golden. You eat both sides clean, nothing to waste. The smell of fish droppings leaves an endless aroma. Now there's food, water, fire, and shelter. This is the best day I've had since I arrived. Colombia time to Thursday. At the age of 5, his mother looked tired. After waking up, I took the seed I picked yesterday, raw, for fear of the fruit being poisonous. I took ras and I'm going to make an 8. Then treated by for coal. After washing it, it turns into a small 8 piece of wood. Currently, I feel like my food intake isn't enough. The fish are very small, inability to meet the body's caloric needs. So I started exploring around to expand the food source. Soon found some seeds all on the ground. When I looked up at the tree, there was a lot of fresh fruit. Even though you're known as a starvation expert. But at this age, you're not as good as you used to be. Try it on site, bring some to the camp and bake on the fire. It only takes 15 minutes to eat roasted cashew nuts. Keep looking. I found a bunch of worms on the ground. Now you're in high spirits. He said earthworm protein is 10 times that of meat. Cherry catches a cub and cleans the intestines, and then cut the fat worm directly. Slightly viscous crispy taste, but in fact, there's a lot of protein. After returning to the shelter, cashews are also roasted. Cashews contain a lot of calories. You said it tastes so good. After a full meal, the next thing to worry about is sleep. I'm still sleeping on the ground. My old back hurts from the cold ground. So I built a bed. But I want to do my job well. You have to sharpen the tools first. After a while of making, it doesn't take long to make a stone axe. I accidentally cut down a few trees. Then tied to the tree as a bed leg. Finally add the soft palm leaves. It's more comfortable than an exo oven cushion at home. There's a sudden noise near running at midnight. The sound is getting closer and closer, and I'm confused. Then I decided I'd put some cameras in tomorrow. Sensors to see what's going on. On the 6th day, there's nothing better than a few nuts for breakfast. And then there's another glass of cashew juice. After eating and drinking enough, I went to the place where I heard the noise yesterday. Tie the sensor camera to the tree. I hope the camera let me know which animals are nearby. Your food is not plentiful right now. But I don't have time to go out and explore. This time I brought a drone. I'll watch from above flying along the jungle. I soon found out about a mile away. There's a big swamp. This type of terrain is often the birthplace, the lives of large animals. For example, crocodile, turtles, and piranhas. Then I decided to go big game hunting tomorrow. Time to Saturday. My brother-in-law is very early today. Quick foot to camera sensor to check. There's a mountain lion in this area. In addition, there was a maggot here. It would be unusual if you see a dog during the day. I guess the wildfire certainly destroyed the habitat. Make them wander around in an unusual way. Animals are having abnormal behavior. It also makes for a survival experience. Being useless in the past. Looks like you've got to be more careful. Next I'm going hunting in the swamp. Discovered yesterday. The river begins to expand here. On the way, he found a snake-necked turtle. But this species is a locally protected animal. Despite drooling, but you can only put it back where it was. Down to the water. I saw another thigh fish. Maybe it's also a guard animal. I can only swallow saliva. Go to a section. We finally found the target of this hunt. A crocodile lying quietly under a pile of tree branches. It's not that big, it's about 60 centimeters. I'm going to set a crocodile trap here. Traps to catch crocodiles. It's much more complicated than trapping small fish. The noose needs to be tied to the tree's branches. Kong. Then use a wooden stick to fend off the noose. Branches do not act as an exo oven. When the trap is activated, the tree will pop up immediately. You twisted a hemp rope. I pulled a tree down to check. When finished, just wait silently. Time to day 8. I want to check the trap. I'm happy to see that the trap has been harvested. A crocodile was trapped. He quickly grabbed it for safety reasons. I gave it a point in my head before untying it. Finish quickly, come back, running with booty on his back. After putting it in pieces. It's finally time for a decent meal. Start with the softest places first. Put the grill on the hot coals for 20 minutes. Then I started eating the chicken. Wild crocodile meat. Grilled charcoal, crispy outside and soft inside. After that, I made another 8 cashew salad. Living in the wilderness is like a vacation. He started talking about survival experience, yours over the years. But life is harder these days. There are more distractions. You define a man today. Let's prove. Position by walking along the length of the Amazon because that's life. I'm getting older and I love what I do. I love living here and I'm so grateful. Be grateful for every moment on this planet. When you say you're getting old, I can see a little bit of sadness in my heart. In fact, what people don't know is, I haven't had a new program in over 2 years. I'm not idle either. You've been in my charity program. After filming the 60-day challenge, they're homeless beggars. Pick up the avocado tube stone leaves. You've helped the homeless. Surviving in the city. After all, you're missing nothing now. On the 10th day, He packed his bags and started evacuating. I'm going to Chiangbai Mountain in China to start the challenge. Next, by the way, after the challenge of eating Beijing roast duck, after the challenge in Colombia, finally, us also came to Chiangbai Mountain in China, frozen and snowy surroundings. The first day in the mountains. You've been tortured by the harsh environment. Heavy snow to the waist makes it difficult to walk. Right now, you're on the border between China and North Korea. It's a harsh winter and it's minus 10 degrees Celsius. How to resist the wind and keep warm has become a top priority. But also pay attention to the ferocious Siberian tiger. Walking in the snow is hard. Outside a snowstorm is coming. S plans to quickly build a cave. Snow to rest overnight. The snow is actually a pile of snow, after compressing, hollow inside. Because the space inside is small, it can isolate cold air. It's the perfect shelter to survive in the snow. First go form a contour on the snow. And then stick out the tree to mark the boundary. And then all the snow around in the middle. After 3 hours of busy work, a white grave mound was finally made. But we can't dig at this point. You need to wait a few hours for it to freeze. By 0. If the night falls, it will turn into a tomb. In the meantime, I'm going to make a pair of shoes to walk in the snow. Find a Y-shaped tree branch to make a frame. He collected 10 more Leo ropes to make a rope. When you're thirsty, take a sip of snow on your way back to camp. I could dig snow. I found a wooden plank to use as a haul. And then tunneling like a mole. Digging for 2 hours had a fairly large space. Next, find some branches and brush them on the ground. It helps to isolate moisture and sleep more comfortably. Continue making snowshoes after the shelter is complete. The weather is so cold, and you've made a shelter. Warm, take the finished snowshoes raw and try them on. It's just a little bulky, but it's convenient to walk in the snow. I made a vent for the snow tent before I went to bed. Prevent the tomb from actually turning into a tomb, although in the snow cave, but sleeping on it is also very comfortable. Time to day 2. Packing equipment and start departure. Walking in the snow is really hard. I soon came to an area with more trees. I just heard the water flowing. Take off your shoes and snow. He lowered his head and found some pine nuts. There's a lot of pine nuts in every pine. It's also a very convenient material for making fire. He quickly collected 11 large bags. Then follow the sound and find the stream. You quickly replenish water. I'm going to walk down the stream. When the water is wide enough, you can fish. Then choose a suitable location to set up camp. The map shows you've come from the snow-covered mountains, down to the plains, and the surrounding forests are starting to regenerate. I met a deer. However, due to a complete hunting ban, I can only keep my hair and say goodbye. Protein knows how to go. I heard it's going to be dark in this area at 4 p.m. It's time to find a place to spend the night. But today, after a long journey, it's a little unrealistic to build another snow cave. You plan to use pine trees behind to build a camp. First shake off the snow on the branches, then dig a snow hole underneath. The roof is woven from pine branches. The bed is made of many tree trunks lined up side by side. You lie down a little hard against your old back. But at least there's room to sleep. Time to day 3. Pack your luggage and continue down the line. The goal today is to find a place where you can just light a fire. Fishing 2 hours later. I went to a frozen river. It's still very dangerous to cross. I can only take small steps and try little by little. As we walked along, we found that the ice had cracked. Water under the ice. It can also be seen with the naked eye. It's really confusing every step of the way. I was finally blessed by God. After crossing the river, he climbed another mountain. There is not much snow on the ground at this time. It's time to find the right camp. The temperature here is much higher than on the snowy mountains. So I plan to light the fire first. Go get some dry wood. Then take another straight branch and scrape off the skin. Then continue to rub with your hands. When the dust starts to smoke, it moves to hay bait. Very quickly the fire was lit. There is spiritual fire in the sky. After all, fire can't just keep us warm. They can also cook food. On the 4th day, the focus shifted to finding food. Currently, the simplest and most effective method is fishing. To the stream he noticed the ice was beginning to melt. And there's a hollow layer between the ice and the water. Thirsty, he lay on the ice and drank water directly. Continued to explore, he found traces of animals. It looks like it was left behind by an otter. There's also some mouse and weasel footprints. Not far away, there's a fish head left behind by otters. It's a very good fishing bait. But before the fishing plan started, you need to finish the shelter first. This time I'm going to build a simple shelter with a steep slope, 2 trees to support it. Put a horizontal bar on top. Use the trees as a roof. This will reflect the heat from the fire. If there is snow, it can also act as a snow shield. After making the shelter, the next step is making a bed. Suddenly, I made a sudden discovery. While collecting 10 materials, a piece of beehive in a dead tree trunk, cut batter directly soft and sweet. Although the number is not much, but this is pure sugar. Very high calorie content. After eating improved fitness. Even the bald head gets brighter. I'm going to get some hay as a mattress. When you're done lying down, you feel really comfortable. Prepare to cook after a busy day. I took out the pine nuts I had picked. Pick up each pine nut raw, and then it's ground into powder. Still not fast. I finally put it in my mouth. Then spit it out and knead it into a thick mixture. And knead into little buns. And put it on the charcoal. After 15 minutes, I was able to enjoy my own cake. If I invite you, would you like to eat? Now there's fire, water, and shelter. In the coming days, protein should be a priority. Time to Thursday. You should plan to fish. He prepared some bark to make fishing lines. Unfortunately, after trying many times, the bark is still too brittle. I had no choice but to get the medical box. Emergency out, take the cotton out of the ice to make the fishing line. Safety pins made into fishing blades, and the bait is the fish's head. You work very hard. Take it to the river. Sweeping the snow with tree branches. Then use a tapping stick to check the thickness. When you're done digging the hole, put the bait in. As soon as you set the second trap. Unfortunately, the ice broke and I fell into the water. The current environment is minus 10 degrees Celsius. I'm 50 years old this year. If you're not careful, you can make love here. Now I can only run back to camp fast. Take off all wet clothes and dry them. Because of this, the spirit has descended to the extreme. Fortunately, the clothes were dry before dark. Time to Friday. I can't wait to go to the river and check the hook. There's nothing in the first trap. The second one is also empty. But you said it's a good location. Deep water and good flow. Maybe it just takes a little while. Time to Saturday. I went to check the trap again. This time I caught a red salmon. Hungry all week, finally got a hearty meal. Wild salmon must be steamed to taste good. I don't have a pot, but I can do it myself. Collect 11 little moss, then put it in water. And then layer by layer over a charcoal fire and put the fish on top. Steamed salmon will ripen in 20 minutes. I'm so excited about this food. It's very different than baking it. This way it keeps all the moisture. With this protein, the challenge is finally moving in the right direction. It can't be called a source of life. But short-term persistence is no longer a problem. The coming days will be easy. It's just hunting, shoot daily for food and fishing. It's finally day 10. You've lifted the shelter. Restore it to its original state. 10-day survival challenge on the mountain. It's over. He said goodbye to the mountain and returned to Guangxi. Still the old rule of not bringing food or water. You don't even wear your hair and your sandals. 3 days of hunger and 9 more meals are about to begin. Sitting on a small raft rowed by indigenous people. He was released into the limestone mountains of Guangxi, SD in many parts of the world. But I recognized that the scenery here is beautiful. I just landed and heard the monkeys howling. You quickly give. The drone flies high to check its surroundings and direction. This time I was not wearing shoes. Climbing through mountains and mountain forms. You quickly. It feels like the soles of my feet are being ripped apart. I'm going to see a little girl. I almost stepped on it. This is a poison. I feel so sorry right now. Before you leave, you are informed. There are 10 different species of snakes. Cobra snake, 6 snake, scorpion, dragon, scorpion all have. If unfortunately they bite, you can't cry, ask your family to cry for you. But the rule here is to ban hunting. I soon found a cave. Since it was late, I decided to spend the night here. After solving the housing problem, I started looking for dinner. You quickly caught a bird. Big claw on the rock. 80% of this organism's body is protein. And the taste is pretty amazing. You draw ice directly on the spot. Eating one is not satisfied. I'm going to catch some more. It's unfortunate. Joy quickly turns into sadness. My whole body gets stuck in my throat. After eating, prepare to rest. He discovered that the cave was extremely wet at this point in time. Then decided to spend the night outdoors. If it rains at night, the return to the cave will not be delayed. Time to day 2. Sleeping on the ground all night. I feel like my body is empty. This is because the ground is too cold, and body temperature plummets. Today's main task is to search food and drinking water sources. I met a girl as soon as I went out. It looks pretty good. You are the one who understands. I don't know what this species is called. I can't help but feel a little scared when you often meet baby Na. Danti, take your eyes off the ground while walking. After walking around for a while, I discovered the vegetation here. I'll find some plants for breakfast. Collect 11 sage seeds and pick some raspberries. A little more tamarind mixed up to eat. After eating, I didn't worry. Next is going to start a fire. There's a bamboo bush near the camp. I'm going to use bamboo to friction the fire. First, scrape off some bamboo shells first. Then put the bamboo skin into the bamboo tube that has punched a hole, and then use friction to heat the bamboo skin, to burn them. It sounds simple, but it's not easy. Even experienced asks. This time I also had a series of problems. 7 failures in the field you are best at. I immediately felt like I had lost my face. After calming down, I feel it's still too wet here. In the spirit of what is hard to ignore. Unfortunately, it started to rain that night. He quickly moved into the cave to hide. After a wet and cold night, I feel my body empty again. Pack your bags and go out in the rain. To VA teeth together because of cold. I'm lucky you picked some plums. After coming down the mountain to replenish energy, after a simple meal, collect 10 a little more and go on. When looking for food, he always looked down at his feet for fear of being attacked by Na. I suddenly realized that I had missed so many beautiful scenes. The mountains here towering majestic and straight. Mountains and cliffs like water paintings wearing. These are the marvels of nature. The landscape is more beautiful than painting. There's a lot of food on the road to eat. Tamarind can replenish water. Fresh and refreshing bamboo shoots. You can eat all the way. Finally, I also found a relatively flat place. Analysis of terrain and nearby materials. You should plan to build a bamboo shelter. The first plan is to use 3 sautés. To build a tree to make ledges, and then put leaves on it to make a roof. Both rainproof and good illumination. Then I cut down some bamboo. When the roof was finished, there was a thunder. I immediately decided to adjust. Your strategy, at least finish the roof before dark. After setting up the frame, brush the banana leaves on top. It's finally done before the sun goes down. The time has come on Wednesday. The weather is still cold. Sometimes I wake up from the cold when I sleep at night. Today's fire issue is at the top. I collect 10 ingredients. I just left the camp and met a cobra. Your hair immediately stood up. If you get bitten, you can only sell salt. At the same time, the king cobra's main food is other snakes. Wherever it appears. That means there's a lot of snakes here. Looks like you'll have to be more careful later. After collecting 10 ingredients, he started a fire, breaking stones to make knives, then scraping some bamboo ram to make the foam. He summarized the cause of the previous 7 failures, maybe pieces of bamboo. I used to be unsure, so I decided to take off my skinny pants. I put it in front of my chest to rub. This time feels much better than last time. After an aggressive bout of rubbing, finally lit the fire. The problem of fire and sleeping has been solved. Next is looking for protein. You go out and look around. I was surprised to find a tea tree near the camp, even if some of the fruit had been pecked by birds. I picked it up too. Back to camp, I'm going to make a bed. This is a way to live a comfortable life in the wild, because the camp is on a slope. Let's first build a foundation on the low side. Then stack the bamboo bars side by side. Put the banana leaves on top. It is better to lie than to hold your wife. Time to Thursday. Today's job is to explore and find food. And then you put your drone in the air. Observing the terrain. Technology has really changed lives, but modern is bad for electricity. It's not far away. I saw streams all flowing into a cave. I feel a lot of water. The water inside must be very deep. Maybe we can find food in the cave. But if you want to explore, you have to be prepared. A lighting cast top is required. I found a pine tree to collect 10 turpentines, then back to the shelter. And melt the turpentine. Add bamboo crumbs and stir well to form a paste. Finally, put all the ingredients in the bamboo branch. A torch is ready. I lit the torch and went into the cave. In the dark and cold cave, I don't know if your fans are here. But as you move forward, I noticed the front was getting wider. I soon reached the bottom of a giant wormhole. Enjoy the beautiful scenery and continue to travel. We finally reached the river in the cave. Come down and drink some water. Suddenly there's a lot of snails down there. I picked up 32 at a time, so I was delighted. I can't believe the torch is about to go out and be replaced. I plan to get out quickly, before this torch goes out. If you lose light in the cave, it's dangerous. But in life, whatever you fear will come true. The casting tops quickly flashing slap in the dark cave. He walked by the infrared camera in fear. I finally found some light in front of me. This desperate experience scares me. So I decided to cook a hearty meal. To reward yourself, there's a snail in the bag. I picked up some wild onions for seasoning. I was lucky to dig a few potatoes. When returning to the shelter, you've cooked a pot of mixture like pig bran. Tonight is also the best meal I've had in Guangxi. It's just snails that are hard to eat in the blink of an eye. The time has come for the 9th day, because tomorrow I have to evacuate. So I really need a hearty meal to store energy. For the past few days, I've only eaten wild fruits and snails. Your body has no energy, but the weather is not good. It started to rain when I was looking for food. I also found a small stream. I found a lot of crayfish underneath. I caught 10 crayfish and crabs. Quickly return to the shelter and ignite the fire. Pure natural raw materials. Just the simplest cooking methods. Skewer into sticks and bake until golden and crispy. Eat a piece. The taste is really great. On the 10th day, he lifted the shelter. Clean up the traces left behind. Pack the equipment and start the evacuation, even though nature is beautiful here. But you don't seem to be growing at all. Skills here, because of the hunting ban. Feeling unsatisfied with the ice, I hurried to Africa. There are no restrictions here by the rules. I'm on a small plane headed for the Orinoco Mountains. In Namibia. The altitude here is more than 2,500 meters above sea level. There are gep leopards and big na babies living here. Noon temperature as high as 45 degrees. It's not easy to complete the challenge here. This time I have to prepare before the challenge begins. You followed the natives here. Learn the skill of making tools from plants. Local before starting the challenge. He took the raw drone and started exploring the nearby terrain. Technology really changes lives. It was discovered by a drone. There's shale formations a few kilometers to the south. So I'm going to go to that rock to get out of the sun. Same challenge as before. Do not bring food and water. And don't wear your hair and shoes. Everything else is fine, but not wearing shoes is a big deal, because na is everywhere in Namibia. If not careful, you can go down and hold it for the king. But in Africa, you can't always pay attention to your feet when you walk. The surrounding bushes are equally dangerous baby na, like gazelles hiding inside. There's also the big baby rhino. If it hits you, there's only sakana. If you can't find water, and the heat is so intense, after 3 days you'll have to run away with your ass. 3 hours later the temperature had risen to 44 degrees. You're lucky you came to the rock. I find a shady spot, and I put 3 lots down. I'm too tired to talk. I plan to only move in the morning from now on, and the evening. Avoid direct sunlight at noon. After resting for a while, you start to explore your surroundings. Soon, the body of an antelope was discovered. Even though there's nothing to eat, but its fur and bones are also good materials. For example, making a pair of shoes, but skin. The antelope has been out in the sun for a long time and it's very hard. It may be difficult to handle. Suddenly I had an idea. You can pee on it. While waiting for the skin to soften, he found a dry plant. When you're talking to indigenous people, I know there's a kind of potato in this area. It tastes sweet and juicy. After digging, cut a hole in his head. Then take out the intestines when squeezing it in the hand. It's a very valuable source of water. After drinking, I started making shoes. If you don't have the right tools, make your own. I'm looking for a piece of stone. Make it into a knife. Then draw the contour of the soles of the feet. Then cut carefully according to the drawing line. When both bases were cut off, I felt a little bit wrong. Turns out, I just cut the wrong soft hair down. There's no other choice now. In addition to walking on the hard side, time to day 2. Our focus today is to find water quickly. You leave the equipment. I walked for a while and found a pile of shit. The presence of animals shows for sure. There must be water nearby. So I kept looking along the footprints. There's more and more shit ahead. They all seem to be saying that. Getting closer to water. In front of a cliff, I found black and white patches. These are traces of the life of the rock rat. Hirak left. You said if you had time, you'd set a trap to catch them. But the most important thing right now is to find water. The birds singing in front. And there's always birds flying out of the cave nearby. I ran over and saw there was water. Just in time to drink. I realized there were too many animals. Travel in the water. But too thirsty, I decided to take a risk and drink the water. Finish drinking. I can only pray that I'm not sick. When there is water, the next step is to find a camp nearby. I found a big cave near the bushes. More. The terrain is quite high, so rhinos can hardly get there. The cave is wide, and there's also traces of aboriginal activity inside. On the ground, there's little sharp stone knives and pieces of pottery. I started thinking about how to start a fire. Drilling wood to make a fire is still the best way. With many years' experience, very quickly the fire was kindled. Start the fire and start moving. On the way he came across a raspberry tree. This fruit is high in sugar and carbohydrates. Lining supplement finished. It's time to start hunting. Go back and run for your slippers. Then to where the Hirak rock rat, unfortunately. No trace was found. Until it gets dark. Time to day 3. He said his stomach was a little upset so he couldn't sleep well. It seems that drinking raw water is the cause. There is no other source of water. No suitable container to boil water. Even if you know there's plankton in the water, I still have to add some. Because compared to diarrhea, water loss is more dangerous. After drinking water, start hunting. There are currently no tools. I found some land sansevieria. Then crush it with stone. Then pull the white thread from inside raw. It can turn into a rope. With a little handle. It's very useful for making traps or bow wires with strings. I'm planning a Paris rock trap. When an animal passes by, if the stone falls, it hits the prey. As soon as I was making a trap, I caught a gecko. I haven't done it yet, but have eaten. Take it and squeeze out the intestines, then put it straight in your mouth. Fat real taste. And then he went to where the Hirak rat's tracks were. Set traps on the way. Then take some weeds to disguise. Then just wait silently. On the 4th day, I can't wait to check the traps in the morning. What a surprise, a stout Hiram rat lies quietly in the trap. Because I don't know how long the Hirak has been dead. I dare not hesitate. Quickly return to the fire camp. Use a small stone knife to remove the hair. First shove the perishable organs into the stick. Bake over the fire until the gold is both sides. Delicious taste aches the armpit. The nutritional value of the organs is rich. After eating the appetizer is the main course. We finally had a good meal. I ate and saw the painting on the stone. The natives are hunted with bows and arrows. So I also want to make a bow and arrow. I happened to pick up a leg bone. While out, it feels right to make a bow. He went and cut a parallel branch back to the camp, shaved bark raw, then put it on the fire to light the fire and straighten it. Next, tear off the tendon on the bone. The tendon is still a little dry, but that's not a big deal. Just put it in your mouth and get some saliva to moisten it. Is to be able to weave a perfect bow string, and then put it together as a bow. On the 5th day, he was awakened by a hyena. It's even less than 20 meters from you. This also makes me determined. I have to finish the bow today. Check the trap after dawn. I'm sorry I didn't receive anything today. There's a lot of traces, but no prey. I'm a little confused about my experience. So he decided to set up an infrared camera. See what kind of animals are drinking water from the pond. On the way back to camp, he also collected 11 materials to make arrows. First clean the front cover. Put it on the fire and straighten it. The arrow is sharp. Finally using feathers as tail wings. When finished, I quickly took out to check. Test shot found NDTO general feel is quite good. To hunt big animals is not sure. But get a rabbit. A pheasant or something is a lot more powerful than a bow and arrow. You're using a drone to find a hunting ground. I can see the view on the top of the mountain. It's amazing. Everywhere here is on a cliff. On Friday, he started hunting officially. You're early to your chosen hunting site. Although there's a lot of animal feces on the ground. But I wait until the sun comes up. I still don't see any animals. It's like having a party and no AI shows up. Look at the sun getting brighter. I could only return to camp in despair. Hunting in the morning. I feel the bow. Name all day so inconvenient. So I thought about making a name for myself. Just like the natives. Digging down 30 centimeters from the edge of the tree, then take out a long, straight root from it. I'm going to go back and run and smash the bark at both ends. Then dig a hole and bury it in the ground for heating. Finally take it out and smash it against a stone. Take the core of the tree in the middle of raw. The bottom is wrapped in unused animal leather. A bag of Theo's ready. Looks pretty fashionable too. Wait until the sun is not too strong in the afternoon. I packed up and set off again. To the puddle and set the stock device. Then check the infrared camera. I found a little antelope named the target here. There are also a lot of birds. So I decided to set up an ambush here. I'll make a bonk. You can use your bow and shoot straight. Then you're like a sniper. Silently waiting for the prey to arrive. At last a flock of pheasants passed by. But it was so far away that I missed the target. If you miss this opportunity, I'm afraid I'll never see another predator again. I don't want to. I'm going to spend the night at the ambush site. Wait until morning when the animals drink water, then act. Time to Saturday. I slept until the sun reached the top of my head. Through nighttime observation, I discovered that pecan's sleeping on the tree. Maybe you can sneak up at night. I'm going to eat raspberries and drink some water to supplement the. Then you hide behind a rock. Rock and rest until evening. The pheasant finally returned to the tree to rest. But I'm not in a hurry. I'm going to wait another 5 minutes for him to fall asleep. Sneak up the cliff ocean bow shot. Only one saw down the fat pheasant. It's been a few days since the last time. Eat the stone rat. I can't wait to get back to the shelter, to make a barbecue every so far for elements of the wilderness challenge. This has been resolved. The coming days will be comfortable, if nothing changes. On the 10th day, I packed up and restored it to its original condition. You left Namibia, where I've tried twice. Go to the next location. This time I went to the Pern Islands in central Panama. It's just from where you live right now. A short distance. After the helicopter arrived, I couldn't land because the tide was too high. You can only jump from the air. First throw 3 lots down first. Then he came down after a while. I finally managed to swim to the beach. Lessons learned from last year's experience on the island. I want to quickly find water. There are coconut trees nearby. In addition to replenishing water for the body, coconut water also has electrolytes, can balance acidity, baso in the body. The dried coconuts have expired. Now I'm looking for green coconuts. After wandering around, I finally picked it up. But opening the coconut, it's a very technical job. I found a sharp stone and crashed against it. You can drink until the coconut breaks. Finish drinking, then break the coconut in half and eat the pulp inside. After water replenishment, I started looking for a campsite. But the prerequisite is to find fresh water first. I was on a helicopter just now. I see a light gray area ahead. Judging based on experience, there will be a river. On the way, I saw the beach full of trash. I'm sad about this too. But I also found a lot of useful stuff in it. Such as a bunch of parachute cords. There's also a drag grid. But the search for water is top priority right now. When you get there, you have 7 hopes. There may be water here. Unfortunately, it's dry now. Don't want to give up, you dig deeper. It's unfortunate. I found nothing but smelly mud on my hands. Keep exploring, and hopefully there could be water upriver. However, the road ahead is increasingly difficult. Sheep road trash, the black palm spikes fall. It will hurt if I step on it. After walking a few times, I turned my face back to the river. Then take a drone to explore the surrounding terrain. I finally found out there's a beach in the distance. There's more rocks there. And there's high ground behind us that can camp. The most important thing is to have open access to the sea. The probability of finding fresh water seems to be greater. I plan to move across to beaches. It's been a long journey, so I'm sure I can't make it today. I need to find a place to spend the first night, in a safe way. I found a ball and a piece of sauce out of the trash. Then Sherry's a hole on the beach. You said that lying in a hole can stop wind and prevent hypothermia at night. Time to day 2. I started trying to cross the beach. But the cliffs, it's become extremely labored by the erosion of water. But it's hard to stand because of the tide. After many thoughts, I decided to go back and build a raft. I remember the trash I went through when I found a big plank. When I tried it in the water, I felt that the buoyancy was fine, but it's probably a little hard to add 3 camera lots. So you're going to collect 10 more foam boards. I even found 2 slippers in the trash. Wait until 10 materials are collected. The sun is getting hotter. Because there's no sunscreen, I can only turn to the shadow of the tree to hide. I looked up and saw a sea eagle next to me. He quickly pulled down the fruit to taste it. I almost broke my front teeth. There's no other way than to open the coconut, to replenish energy. Then pull all the material out into the shade and start. Assembly, put all the foam board in the middle of the wood board. And then pick up a bunch of rope and tie it up. I need a knife to cut the rope. I randomly picked up another piece of metal. Remove a piece by folding over and over again. Then put it on a stone to sharpen the blade. Take out the wire and cut it. After closing the raft, your body is almost exhausted. After resting for a while, when the tide goes out tomorrow, you can sail. On the 3rd day, think of the long trip ahead. Your stomach hasn't eaten yet. I picked up noni on the beach. Take a bite. It's very rich in sugar and boron hydrates, but it tastes like acid in a car battery. It's a little hard to eat, but it also adds some energy. The rafting begins to sail, but the buoyancy is enough, but unfortunately I can't keep my balance. A wave that could knock you down. But that's not a big deal. Just install an external bracket. After pushing it into the water, it becomes much more stable. Climbing a raft at sea requires a lot of energy. After 2 hours of climbing, I finally arrived. The most important thing now is to hurry, to find fresh water. Pick up your backpack and leave immediately. Constantly exploring along the ravine, I finally found fresh water in the rocks. Unfortunately, it's full of leaves. No need to think. Know that it's full of bacteria and plankton. But this isn't your problem. I put water in some plastic bottles that picked up on the beach, then cut a bottle and make a filter. The first filter is the fiber from the coconut tree. The second layer is charcoal. Then just add some gravel as filter. Ready to go. It's just that these materials haven't been cleaned. It feels like the water is finished, not in the same way as before. Then put the filtered water on the rock to bask in the sun, for ultraviolet secretion that kills bacteria. 4 hours later I went to get a drink, although there's a bit of a swamp smell. But it's still drinkable fresh water. The water problem has finally been solved. The next focus is how to improve our lives. Time to the 4th day. It's time to light the fire. The current environment is suitable for starting a fire. He went to the beach and found some dry branches. Then take a stick and rub it on the kir tree. The most important step is to put the fire in the dust. After 10 minutes, he succeeded in starting the fire. The fire can help you cook. The water heater also provides warmth at night. Next, just get food. It's an improved mode of living. As soon as you're boiling water. When I look back, I saw it not far away. A baby Na giant appears. Length is estimated to be more than 2 meters. It's obviously very difficult for one person to control it. But for S, everything that moves is food. But this time I don't want to catch him. You said you're here to do survival work. If you are hungry, drink a glass of water to calm down. I'm going to go fishing for dinner. There's a lot of seafood between the cliffs on the beach. First pick up some marine sow. I caught a few more conchas. There's even a few little crabs. After surfing through to pockets of pants, enough to cook a pot of seafood soup. You come back, ran and found a plastic bag. After filling it with water, start making soup. When the water is about to boil, put all the ingredients in. Wait an hour and flush the bag. First bite a piece of saucy, but it tastes really hard to eat. Fortunately, the crab tastes good. After eating, you sleep on the spot. Time to Thursday. You're using a drone to find food. This time I found a mangrove forest. On the other side of the island, I can see that the resources there are abundant. Determine the direction you quickly depart. I met a lemon tree on the side of the road. I quickly packed it into 2 pockets. Halfway through, I picked up another big plastic box. After an hour of walking, I finally got to the mangrove forest. Roots, complex trees inside turn the beach like a cage. If you just go down there, you'll catch clams or clams. This trip was very successful. Enough for a full meal. Back to camp, put clams on the charcoal grill. Then take the intestines inside raw, and squeeze some lemon juice in. Then, marinate for another 20 minutes and you'll have delicious seafood, waiting for you to pick up a piece of fishing net. Even though it's worn out, but you can still use it as a hammock. Lie on it, much more comfortable than lying on the beach. Maybe now the lemon marinated clams are spiced. Take 2 twigs and make a wand, grab one, bite one. It tastes great. It contains a lot of protein. The 4 pleasures of life are missing only one. One, spend a few days relaxing, to catch fish and explore the mangroves. Time flies like a dog in the field. It's the 9th day I've relied on seafood to survive. I was a little bored and decided to change. He found animal footprints left on the beach. This makes me very happy. I'm going to go back and trap you. Suddenly I saw a gecko lying on a tree. It's not far away. It made me cry out of the corner of my mouth. Back to camp he quickly unscrewed and tried to make a net. Then go to the gecko. You find a place to hide and wait for it. The last chance has come. Quick hand zone mesh. The net slipped, but he reacted quickly. He rushed to catch it with his hands. Back at camp, he started processing. Suddenly, there were some eggs inside. Then put the meat, should roast everything. He also put a plastic pot next to him to boil the eggs. After boiling 49 minutes, you take out the egg. After finishing the appetizer, give me another cup of lemon tea. Right now, the meat was also roasted outside and soft inside. Try the leg first. It tastes like chicken feet. Delicious chewy gecko meat. After a full meal, take a cup of lemon tea to drink. After dinner, lie on the beach watching the sunset. Simple little life, leisurely, not bon chen. On the 11th day the boat came to pick him up. This is almost my last journey of survival. You're 50 now too. Based on this age, it's hard to see new journeys in the future. It's like a parting trip. You're once again in Namibia, South Africa. This time I'm going to challenge the CA Bravi wetlands. There's a lot of elephants living on land. There's also hippos and dangerous crocodiles in the water. Not to mention lions and leopards, which is a specialty of grassland. The first day he came back on the indigenous boat. Before we got there, we were surrounded by hippos. You're a little frowned upon here. When it comes to the starting point, I found a bunch of guns. Indigenous people say monkey. The dog loves to eat it. After coming ashore, he took off his clothes and shoes. It's just shorts and a camera bag. The best strategy right now is to follow the river. The first is guaranteed water. Another thing is that it's convenient to get food. But the most important thing right now is to hurry, find a place to camp. Take a flying drone out to survey the nearby terrain. I found a large colony of hippos not far away. Be careful to avoid them on the road. Hippos kill more people per year than lions. Keep moving forward. I ran into a huge pile of elephant dung. I picked it up and smelled as good as ever. And then put the elephant dung on the ground and broke it in half. Some seeds can usually be found in it. I picked up a lot at the same time. Put it in your mouth and taste it. But this grain is very hard. I almost anointed my front teeth. You've got to find a way to use it. The sun is now very low. It's estimated to be 15 minutes until dark. I must quickly find a place to spend the night. South Africa is much more dangerous at night than during the day. Now it's too late to build a shelter. I saw a tree in front of me that looked beautiful, but you still need to add some water before. Be careful when drinking water in the river. Under the quiet water, there may be crocodiles stalking. I took a few sips and ran away scared. Just returned to the tree. I've shoveled up the back of my head. The tree you chose was captured by the black mamba. The species is not only extremely poisonous, it's also moving very fast. Now I can't react as fast as it does. I quickly found another tree and climbed up. To avoid falling while sleeping, he took off his belt and tied himself to a tree. Early morning on Monday, I was awakened by the sound of elephants. And there's a lion watching from a distance. Now the sleepiness is over. I stood on the tree waiting for dawn to come down. Elephant footprints were found a few feet away. There's also a lot of fresh elephant dung. This smell is real, much more than the smell I picked up yesterday. Facing a lot of dangerous animals. Building a safe haven is the right thing to do. The safest place to live is in a tree. I found some branches trampled by elephants. So the plan is to build a house in a tree, 3 meters from the ground. The heat, hunger, and lack of sleep are tormenting you. After a few hours, the framing part of the tree house is finished. The next step is to find some branches for the background. While looking for materials, I accidentally found 2 stones. Now finally, you can also open seeds from elephant dung. I found a pile of shit, another elephant, and collect 10 a little more. But now, you can't waste time opening nuts. To the afternoon, you also need to get ready to sleep before dark. Finally collected 10 enough ingredients. At first, he was going to use the bark wire to pull it up. Unfortunately, the ideal is hopeful, but the reality is fragile. Pulling, the rope is broken. I'm sure I'll be lucky next time. There's no other way than to transport them. Up one by one. We finally finished the bed before dark. I've been busy for 2 days and haven't eaten anything. I can't wait to open the seeds. The seeds taste better after fermentation. In the stomach and intestines of elephants, I thought I'd have a good night's sleep after a full meal. I didn't expect an immediate tragedy. When building a house on a tree, I wasn't thinking about building the roof that night. I'm really shocked. On the morning of the 3rd day, he was awakened by a hippopotamus. Listening to the hippopotamus' magical cry, I thought the hippopotamus was laughing at me. Now there's no dry place in my body. Even the pants are wet. I have to find a roof today. For my treehouse. But first we need to get some food. To have the power to work. I remember the words of the local boat driver. Talking about baboons that like to eat guns. Because they're all primates. So if baboons eat, sure. You can eat them too. Guns taste a little like peas. They have a lot of carbohydrates in them. After a simple meal, you start working. I'm going to make a reed roof. It takes a tree to make a tool. And then he started banging. After collecting 10 enough materials, start shipping back to camp. But on the way back, I found a lot of new lion footprints. I couldn't help but be curious and follow my footsteps. Of course, I saw a dead antelope on a tree. It's not far away. It's no small thing to see a lion near the camp. You have to be more careful in the future. But the most important thing right now is to build a roof. It's finally done before dark. Early Wednesday morning, I was awakened by the sound of baboons fighting. I've never had a good night's sleep. Since coming here, I happened to see a big gecko. Last meal in Panama. I haven't forgotten that taste. He quickly found a branch and poked it down. But it ran away, faster than the way your ex turned around. I have no strength to chase you now. I can only salivate and watch the protein run away. The human body consumes about 300 cal of energy per day. Eating nuts and guns does not meet the needs. You have to eat something to stop your body from decomposing, fat and muscle. So you took Risdrone. However, after flying around, Kai found some buffalo and elephants. But I can't handle it. These big animals. Now the sky is getting dark again. Maybe it will rain again tonight. To avoid getting wet and cold, he quickly gathered 11 materials to start the fire. It's still a familiar recipe, drill wood to make a fire. Finally caught fire before the heavy rain. But it's not over yet. You've got to find a way to move the fire up the treehouse. Go to the river and get some clay. Take it back and make a fire pit in the tree. It's unfortunate. His fingers were burned while he was lighting a fire. Even though there's nothing to eat. But there's shelter and there's fire. Life will not be so miserable. Eating particles that smell of robbing elephants at night. I feel like I can't go on like this. I have to make a fishing gear tomorrow. Time to Thursday. I picked up an antelope horn. While drinking water, it is not very convenient to carry. But it's also good for water retention. Go out and find some straight and long branches. Go back and shave all the prongs on it. Then split the top into 4 parts and tie them together. And then fire it and sharpen it into a spear. Take it into the water to practice. The balance and feel are good. I feel that the distance between the points is a bit large, so I went back to running and dealing with it. I can't believe I picked up some oranges on the road. Monkey oranges are different from the oranges we usually eat when we open them. It's filled with mucus, and it's very high in sugar and vitamin C. That's what I need most right now. Time to Friday. You've reworked the tip of the javelin to maintain balance. A tail fin has been added. When you're done, quickly find a water hole to catch fish. However, after a long time, you can't catch a single fish for all kinds of reasons. I think this pool is still a bit big. There's too much room for the fish to escape. So, I want to draw all the fish into the narrower water ahead. However, after many attempts, in the end nothing was found. Time to Saturday. I went to drink water in the morning and met a hippopotamus. Even if you have to change places every time you take water, I still feel the situation is becoming increasingly unsafe. Every time you drink water, it's like you're risking your life. But now I finally have a solution. Just fill the antelope horn with water. Then hang it on the tree for storage. There's just a lack of food right now. I see this trip is coming to an end. I feel like it can't end in prayer. Drop it like that. After many thoughts, I decided to make a dart stick. With this, the low can be turned into a dart. He found a branch with prongs and scraped off the bark. After a little processing, it's going to be a throwing handle. As soon as you try it. When I reached the river, I was dead. I don't understand why now. More than 10 crocodiles gathered by the river. When I went into the water to fish, my feet were cold. Time to day 8. The end is getting closer. If you have nothing to eat, then you're going to lose face as a survival expert. After waking up quickly to the river looking for opportunities, this time I'm going to build a dam in the middle. Drive the fish to shallow water and see where it escapes. This can be said to be perfect. Unfortunately, at the last moment I missed. You have no choice but to fish by hand. It's not easy. It takes 8 days to get protein. Bring it back to the barbecue and you can cook it. Time to the 9th day. Get water in the morning as always. A predatory tiger fish was spotted swimming. I suddenly thought of a sentence that was, mantis catches cicadas, birds chop their backs. You can see the bubbles rise and throw them at louse. Very handsome posture, but the results are bad. Tried again and again. After half a day, I finally got my confidence back. This time he hit the target with a single blow. Tiger fish tastes very good. It's just that there's a lot of chips in there. You have to eat carefully or not. Even the bone marrow inside your fish's head is gone. On the 10th day, he didn't dismantle the shelter like before. Maybe the birds will use it. So far, I've completed my wilderness survival. Last in my life. You said you'd walk out and know no better than home. Okay, the video ends here. Thank you all for watching. I wish you a lot of health. Educational analysis lessons from the journey alone. An age that does not stop the will. At age 50, I didn't choose to back down. It's going to be more dangerous. The years of youth have been touched. It's one thing that teaches us that willpower doesn't age. That's the real limit. To nature is the greatest humble lesson. When poisonous snakes are in drought, and the isolation that surrounds, man is no longer the proud subject of civilization. Nature forces us to listen. Respect and adaptation out of control anymore. Life skills are more important than any tool. No food, no water. What's keeping him alive? The ability to recognize natural signs. Water level animal VI path. Organizational and strategic. Climbing the mountain before planning later. Be a calm and save psychological energy. Alone is where people see themselves most clearly. No one around to blame. There is no camera to play. Living alone is the clearest example. Inner reflection. The fear of being stubborn and letting go. Practical advice from the journey. One should not underestimate the psychological factor in survival. The loneliness, fatigue and panic can kill you before the animals do. Learn how to control your mind, not just your limbs. To preparation is always vital. Thick boots, high to avoid snakes. Choose destination according to terrain. Predicting risk. Nothing is redundant in survival. I know how to step back to move forward. Climb the mountain before staying. 2. Observe the terrain and make plans, instead of acting blindly. In survival and life, taking a step back at the right time is a strategic step. For learn to live slowly and observe. Each natural signal smells of smoke. The birds are silent, the water is falling. It's all valuable survival information. Who watches closely, that person live. Change the ending. The strong are not against nature. It's people who survive by understanding it. The 50-year-old man's journey. It's not just the fight with the jungle. It's the fight to keep yourself. Retaining human dignity in the midst of chaos.